If you enjoy this content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. May the old gods and the new smile on you. Good gaming.
House Stark is the stuff of legend in the north, and their family words, winter is coming.
A Lannister always pays his debts. Our words are, hear me roar.
The scenario is a Game of Thrones. Starks win the roll and open with a weirwood tree in the center. Lannisters put down a corpse pile between the objectives. Starks placed stakes between the other objectives. Lannisters finished with a palisade. The first objective gives a 3-inch shift. The second objective gives vicious. The center objective gives precision. The fourth objective puts out a panic token. The final objective lets you roll your highest attack dice value. Lannisters win the second roll and choose tableside. Starks deploy first. The Stark Army, NCUs, Sansa Stark, Little Bird, Arya Stark, the Wolf Girl, 1 unit of Golden Company crossbows with Mira Reed, 2 units of Tully Cavaliers, both with a Glory Seeker. Finally, Eddard's Honor Guard with the Army Commander, Eddard Stark, Lord of Winterfell.
The Lannister Army, NCUs, Joffrey Baratheon, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, Cersei Lannister, Queen Regent, Qyburn, Master of Whisperers, 1 unit of Knights of Casterly Rock, 1 unit of Stormcrows with Sir Mandan Moore, 1 unit of Lannister crossbows with Bronn. Finally, a unit of Warriors' Sons with the Army Commander Adam Marbrand.
Round 1. Starks choose to go first. Arya opens with the letter, drawing 2 cards and placing a weakened token on the knights. Joffrey then takes the bag and removes the weakened token. Starks play the North Remembers on the Golden Company crossbows. Sansa then activates, and Qyburn spends a token to mark the horse and crown. To avoid taking 2 vulnerable tokens, Sansa takes the swords for no action. Qyburn then takes the horse. The Warriors' Sons maneuver forward 5 inches. The Golden Company crossbows activate and march within 1 inch of the stakes. Cersei then takes the crown and zaps the Golden Company crossbows. They pass their panic test. The first Tully Cav unit activates and does a double maneuver, finishing next to the stakes. Joffrey is belatedly attached to the Golden Company crossbows. The Stormcrows march 10 inches and claim an objective. Eddard and his honor guard march 10 inches forward. The Lannister crossbows pivot and maneuver forwards towards the palisade. The second Tully Cav do a double maneuver to flank Eddard. The Warriors' Sons do a small maneuver sideways. The Knights of Casterly Rock do a small maneuver to cover the Warriors' Sons' flank. End of round 1.
Round 2.
Round 2 opens with a Lannister pays his debts being played on the Warriors' Sons. Joffrey then takes the letter to draw 2 cards and put a weakened token on the Golden Company crossbows. Arya then takes the horse, and the Golden Company crossbows move just out of contact with the stakes. Qyburn then takes the crown and zaps the first Tully Cav unit. They pass their test. Sansa takes the bag and removes the weakened token from the Golden Company crossbows. The Stormcrows maneuver towards the field edge, putting the corpse pile between them and the second Tully Cav. The Starks use their first pass token. The Warriors' Sons activate and declare a maneuver. Before they can move, Mira targets them with hidden traps. They take 4 hits. They save 2 and take 2 wounds. The Warriors' Sons maneuver back slightly. Eddard activates and maneuvers forward. Cersei takes the swords and the crossbows shift sideways and shoot at Eddard with 6 dice. Only 2 hit. The Honor Guard fails both saves and takes 2 wounds. They pass their panic test and heal 1 back from Rally Banner. The Golden Company crossbows use their Sentinel order to move even closer to the stakes. The second Tully Cav unit moves up and claims the center objective. The crossbows activate and shoot into Eddard again. 4 hit. The Honor Guard block 3 and take 1 wound. They pass their panic test and heal the wound back. The Golden Company crossbows activate and take no action. The Knights activate and maneuver forward. They then declare a charge on Eddard and his Honor Guard. They are successful. They throw 10 dice and land 8 hits. The reroll sees 1 more land for 9 hits. The Honor Guard is saving on 4s and blocks 5. They take 4 wounds. The Knights take 1 wound from go down fighting. The Honor Guard passes their panic test and heal 1 wound back. The first Tully Cav unit activates and maneuvers over the stakes. They take 4 wounds. They then attempt to charge the Knights in the flank. They fail their charge and take a panic test. They pass the test and heal 1 wound. The round ends with both sides scoring 1 victory point for controlling an objective. Neither objective's effects trigger. End of round 2. Round 3. Round 3 opens with Arya activating. Qyburn spends his second token to mark the swords in the bag. Arya avoids both and takes the horse. The second Tully Cav unit does a small pivot and maneuver towards the Stormcrows. Adam and the Warrior's Sons activate and declare a charge on the first Tully Cav unit. They are successful. They spend their faith token to gain Sundering. They throw 7 dice, and with re-rolls, all 7 hit. The Tullys save 2 and take 5 wounds. They pass the test and heal 1 wound, then deal 1 wound to the Warrior's Sons. Sansa activates and Qyburn uses his last token to block the swords in the bag again. This time Sansa takes the swords. The first Tully Cav unit and Eddard's unit both become vulnerable. Eddard's Honor Guard then attacks the Knights with 6 dice hitting on 2s with crit blow. They land 7 hits. The Knights block 3 and take 4 wounds. Eddard's rally cry heals 2 wounds to the first Tully Cav unit. The Knights then fail their panic test for 1 more wound. The Knights trigger their Lannister supremacy order. But the Honor Guard pass the panic test and heal 1 wound. The Starks then play lead by example on the second Tully Cav unit. The Lannisters respond with counterplot. It is successful and cancels it. The Lannister Knights then retreat rolling a 5. They use the full 10 inches to move directly back. The Golden Company crossbows then activate, shift 2 inches and shoot with 6 dice into the flank of the Warrior's Sons. 3 dice hit. The Warrior's Sons block 1 and take 2 wounds. They then fail their panic test for 3, but only take 2 wounds thanks to Iron Resolve. They mistakenly take 3 wounds. The Tully Cav unit takes a panic test. They pass their test, heal 1 wound, and then deal 1 more wound to the Warrior's Sons. They catch the error and return a wound from the panic check. Joffrey takes the bag and uses Bronn's ability to perform an attack with the Lannister crossbows. They shift back slightly and fire into Eddard's Honor Guard. All 6 dice hit. The Honor Guard save 2 and takes 4 wounds. They pass their panic test and heal 1 wound. Joffrey's influence goes on to the Honor Guard. Eddard's Honor Guard successfully charges the Warrior's Sons in the flank. Winter is Coming is played on the charge for both effects. Northern Ferocity is played on the attack, giving it vicious and putting out a panic token. Hitting on 2s, the Starks land 8 hits with a critical blow, but they get greedy and re-roll all but the 1-6. On the re-roll, they end up with 7 hits. Saving on 5s, the Warrior's Sons block 3. Adam's Harden stops 2 more, and they take 2 wounds. They fail their panic test for 0 wounds thanks to Iron Resolve. Their panic token is spent to re-roll the wound's dice, but it remains a 1. The warrior's sons mistakenly take a faith token here. Eddard's rally cry healed 2 wounds back to the Tullys. Bronze crossbows activate and shift into close range of Eddard. They shoot 6 dice, all hit. The honor guard saves 2 and takes 4 wounds. Their vulnerable token is spent. On the re-roll, 1 more wound gets through. They pass their panic test and heal 1 back. The first Tully Cav unit activates and repositions. Then they attack the warrior's sons with 6 dice. 5 hit. The warrior's sons save 2 and Harden blocks 2 more, and the ill-gotten faith token is spent to block the last hit. They auto-pass their panic and gain the faith token back. The Lannisters then play Lash Out to deal 4 wounds to the Tullys and make them panicked. Start of the Lannisters' turn. Arya uses her first token to perform a retreat with the honor guard. Qyburn then activates and takes the letters to draw 2 cards and put a panic token on Eddard's honor guard. The second Tully Cav unit activates and maneuvers forward, and then marches into the area between Eddard and the Lannister units. Cersei then takes the crown to zap Eddard's unit. Hear Me Roar is played to add -3 more to the test. They pass the test. The panic token is spent. But again, Eddard's will holds, and they pass with defiance. Cersei then uses a token to draw the Hear Me Roar back from the discard and draw a Subjugation of Power from the deck. The Stormcrows then activate and march 10 inches towards Eddard's flank. The Starks score 1 victory point for the center objective. End of round 3.
Round 4!
Round 4 opens with Arya spending her last token to maneuver the honor guard further away from bronze crossbows. Joffrey then takes the swords. His influence goes on to Eddard's honor guard. The warrior sons reposition and attack with 4 dice. All 4 hit. The Tullys block 3. The vulnerable is spent, and 1 more gets through for 2 wounds. The Tullys fail their panic test for 3 more wounds. Iron Resolve was forgotten. Lannisters play fealty to the crown to heal 4 wounds back to the warrior sons. The Golden Company crossbows trigger Sentinel to maneuver towards the Stormcrows. They hit the stakes and take 3 wounds. The second Tully Cav unit activates. Subjugation of Power is played on them. Then a Hear Me Roar is added to the test. They pass the panic test. They then charge successfully into the warrior's son's flank. Devastating Impact is played to add a vulnerable and panicked. The Tullys land all 10 dice. The warrior sons are able to block 3, and then another 3 with their hardened and faith token combo. However, the vulnerable is spent, and they fall 1/6 short of staying alive. Adam Marbrand is slain. The Starks score a victory point. The second Tully Cav unit surges forth back in front of the knights. Cersei takes the bag and replaces it with an attack from bronze crossbows. Only 2 dice hit. The Starks fail to save either and take 2 wounds. Cersei uses her last token to pull both the Subjugation of Power and Hear Me Roar cards back from the discard pile. Hear Me Roar is played on Eddard's panic test. But again, Eddard passes with Supreme Defiance, healing 1 wound back. The first Tully Cav unit activates and declares a charge on the knights. Subjugation of Power is played on them with -2 for a 6-up save. They pass, but forget to heal a wound. Their charge is successful. They play Devastating Impact, making the knights vulnerable and panicked. They roll 6 dice. They land 4 hits. The knights fail to block any, and take 4 wounds. They pass their panic test. The panic token is spent. They still pass. The knights use their Lannister supremacy order, but the Tullys save it and heal 1 wound back, but forget to inflict a wound on the knights. The crossbows activate and shoot at Eddard. All 6 dice hit. Eddard is unable to survive the volley and is killed. The Lannisters score 1 victory point. Arya takes the letters and draws 2 cards and puts a weakened token on the knights. Qyburn takes the horse and the knights retreat. With 6 inches, they are just able to pivot an inch away from the Tullys. The Tullys also pivot. Sansa then takes the crown and replaces the zone with her ability to take a card, devastating impact, back from the discard pile. The knights activate and declare a charge on the first Tully Cav unit. The charge is successful. They throw 6 dice. 4 hit. The Tullys fail to block any and are killed. Lannisters score 1 victory point. The knights surge forth. The Golden Company crossbows shoot into the Stormcrows. They land 5 hits. The Stormcrows only save 1 and take 4 wounds. They pass their panic test. The Stormcrows activate and declare a march, but Mira hits them with hidden traps for 3 hits. They fail them all for 3 more wounds. They march forward and capture the center objective. The Lannisters score 1 victory point for the objective. End of round 4. Round 5. A Lannister pays his debts is played on the knights. Arya activates and takes the swords. The golden crossbows shoot into the Stormcrows, hitting on 2s. All 6 hits land. The Stormcrows block 4 and take 2 wounds. They fail their panic test for 1 more wound. The knights activate and declare a charge on the Tullys. They are successful. They hit with 6 dice. After a reroll, all 6 hit. The Tullys block 3 and take 3 wounds. They then pass their panic test. They heal 1 wound back and deal 1 wound to the knights. The Golden Company crossbows use their sentinel to maneuver towards the knights. The Golden Company crossbows activate. Subjugation of power is played on them. They pass their test, but forget to heal 1 wound. They shoot at the knights. After rerolls, all 6 hit. The knights block 4, but take 2 wounds and are killed. Starks score 1 victory point. Joffrey takes the bag and replaces it with an attack from bronze crossbows. They shift back an inch and shoot into the Tullys, gaining re-rolls for close range. They land 4. The re-rolls do not help. The Tullys take 3 wounds. They pass their panic test. They heal 1 wound. Sansa takes the horse and the Tully Cav maneuver closer to the crossbows. The crossbows activate and shoot the Tullys again. They land 4, but this time the re-rolls also work for 6 hits. The Tullys take 3 more wounds. They pass their panic test and heal 1 back again. The Tullys activate and maneuver towards the Stormcrows. They successfully charge into their flank. They play devastating impact to make them panicked and vulnerable. The Tullys only land 3 hits. The Stormcrows fail to block 2 and are killed. Starks score 1 victory point. The Tullys surge forth and claim the center objective. They turn to face the crossbows. Qyburn takes the letters and draws 2 cards, but forgets to put out a condition token. Cersei then takes the crown and replaces it with a bribery card played onto the Golden Company crossbows. The Starks score 1 victory point for the center objective. End of round 5.
Round 6.
Joffrey opens the round by taking the bag and attacking with bronze crossbows. They shift forward and shoot into the Tullys. 3 dice hit. The Tullys block 1. They take 2 wounds. They pass their panic test. They heal 1 wound. Arya activates and intrigue and subterfuge is played to put a weakened token on the Golden Company crossbows. Arya takes the horse and the Tullys maneuver back. Qyburn activates and takes the swords. The crossbows shift forward and shoot into the Tullys again. This time only 2 dice land. The Tullys fail to save, either taking 2 wounds. Hear Me Roar is played on their panic test, and they fail for 1 wound. However, Northern Defiance is played. They re-roll and pass the test. They heal 1 wound. Cav activates and runs far away and claims an objective. Cersei takes the letter, draws 2 cards, and puts a vulnerable token on the Golden Company crossbows. Sansa takes the crown to zap Bronn's crossbows. They fail and take 2 wounds. Both crossbow units fire a final volley at each other. Each inflicts a couple wounds but affect the outcome not at all. The round ends with the Starks scoring 1 for the objective. Game over.
Starks defeat the Lannisters 7-4. If you enjoy this content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. May the old gods and the new smile on you. Good gaming.